A big step has been taken when it comes to Sweden sending JAS 39 Gripens to Ukraine. This is what we're talking about today. My name is Max Villman. I'm a former fighter pilot in the Swedish Air Force, and let's go. So just a couple of, this is just new news that the Swedish National Radio, quoting sources from within the Swedish defense and the Swedish government, and they usually have quite good sources, so I think this is quite reliable information. So the Swedish Armed Forces will probably later today on Thursday, the 14th of September, or in a couple of days, get the official assignment to come back and evaluate what sending the Gripen to Ukraine could mean for the Swedish Armed Forces when it comes to risks, etc. So this is the first really major step that has been taken about sending Gripens to Ukraine. And obviously the politicians, the government, will not give this task to the Swedish Armed Forces to evaluate this if they weren't seriously considering it. So this is a major step in sending the Gripen to Ukraine. Okay, so what does this mean then for Sweden? So we're talking probably about one squadron worth of aircraft, 16 to 18 airplanes perhaps. And that is to put into context, Sweden has about 1994 aircraft. And then you can think maybe 16 to 18 is not that much in the grand scheme of things. But the thing you must know when it comes to modern fighter airplanes is that you only have a certain percentage of airframes ready to use at any given time. There's a lot of maintenance per flying hour done, a lot of rear maintenance, a lot of forward maintenance, etc., etc. So giving away 16 to 18 of the Gripens that we have in Sweden, they will obviously not be the ones that are in maintenance, but the ones that are actually combat ready, because they will be sent to a war zone. So giving away that amount of Gripens, around 20% of the fleet, to another country means that Swedish available airframes will drop by at least that amount, if not more. And there is basically no slack in the system. The system is designed to make sure that the squadrons can operate at the training that they are required to operate on. And there's no extra slack to bring out extra flight hours. And this is all open source, of course. And if you take, for example, what's not open source is the actual number of airframes available at any given time, of course. But if you take another look at another Western country, the German Air Force, they operate the Typhoon, the Eurofighter. There have been alarming reports in their media that they only have single-digit airframes available at any given time. And this is, of course, not exactly Sweden's case, but you can probably extrapolate a little bit about it. So giving away 16 to 18 combat-ready airframes will have a major impact in the Swedish ability to fly their own airframes and, of course, train, etc., etc. And as a country, as an air force, you will always prioritize keeping combat air patrols or quick reaction alert airplanes for your immediate needs operational, which means that this will probably affect training of new pilots and training of current pilots negatively in a massive way. Other things, it's not just about the airframes, it's also about personnel, and Sweden has started to grow the armed forces to build up again. But right now the personnel availability is of course very, very bad in the entire armed forces because of all this. We're training new conscripts, we're training new pilots, we're trying to build up. And if you would add this, sending 16 to 18 airplanes, we're talking about a squadron worth of not just pilots, but also ground personnel, technicians, and so on and so forth. Then, of course, that capability to train them will have to be removed from the capability to train Swedish own growth. So obviously this will have a major negative impact for training new Swedish pilots, new Swedish ground personnel, etc., etc. So we could also look at when Sweden went to Libya with Gripens, how that affected, and it affected quite a lot with only 5 to 8 airframes. So now we're talking about double that at least, perhaps 3 times as much, and in a quite short time frame, because obviously there will be a lot of Ukrainians that need to be trained at once. So in the short term, this could get very, very major impacts on the ability for the Swedish Air Force to train. And also we're talking about looking into Saab has some airframes that they can perhaps build up quickly and send to Sweden so that we get replacements for the airframes we send away. But you must also know that Saab is heavily using their personnel to build the 39er Echo version, and also modifying existing Caesar, Charlie and Delta versions. So it's also, this is not something that will happen immediately, and if it happens immediately, quite immediately, then months perhaps, then it will of course affect the deliveries of the Gripen E, the Gripen Echo version. So all in all, I guess this will have a major impact on Swedish defense capability in the air if this is to come. And I think you have sensed that I am quite negative about this. I am very, very positive about sending aid to Ukraine, but I think this is perhaps something that costs a little bit more than it gives back. And I think the risk will be a little bit too high compared to the effect that it will get the Ukrainians. I've talked about why the F-16s won't matter in the short term in Ukraine. You can take a look at that video. So I think we should continue to help Ukraine, but perhaps we should use other means to help them instead of sending this resource. So when it comes to Gripen and training Ukrainian pilots and ground crew, in that sense. So I think I will end it there. Please give me a like right here in the comments what you think about this. Also subscribe to the channel. When you do these likes and subscriptions, you help me grow and reach more people. It doesn't cost you anything. So thank you for that. Thanks you for watching also. And if you want to buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi, you can do that below here, or send me a super thanks through YouTube. But I will end it there. You have links to my social media, my newsletter, etc. And until next time, as always, fly safe.